Let's talk about sections. On very large models, you may not be interested in seeing absolutely anything, everything. So for instance, if we were doing a review on just this rectangle here, we may not be interested in the rest of this warehouse or indeed this building over here. So this is where sections help us out. So here's the sections. So we've got 4 different sectioning tools: section by plane, by element, range and shape, and we'll look at the various pros and cons of each of these. So let's start with a section by plane, and you'll see the prompt is to identify a point on the section plane. And we've got all of these different methods in here. So there's 8 different methods in here. So if we were just to go for a top section, this is a slice through the model looking at it from the top. So let's say I was to pick a point, let's say halfway up this this wall here, halfway up this building, we get a section that looks like this. And if I was to zoom out slightly, you'll notice there's this area here and this arrow. Okay. And you'll notice as we move around, the arrow may appear. And if it hides behind something like this, you can always minimize these selection tools. And you can pick this up and reappraise the section view that you're getting, like so. Nice and easy. Now, if you click on that, again, as you saw, and this is, by the way, is doing a slice through the whole of the model. Let's see if we can get that back into our view. Now you'll notice if I right-click on this, it flips this from a top to a bottom section. It looks like that's going to always be in my way, like so. Okay, there it is over here. Now, if you want to get rid of the arrows and the section plane, we can hide it here. Hide the section handles. Now it's gone, and if I click on it, it comes back. Or indeed, you can delete the whole section that you created, like so. So that's a section by plane. And it's quite useful in top and bottom. Top and bottom are the same, you just flip them. But front is a bit different. If I say, give me a section by the front view, and I again pick a point where I want that section to be, you'll notice we get this. Well, this is a little less useful. So this is a front based on the coordinates, but then of course, because our building is not aligned with the front plane in the CAD model, then we get this rather odd. Again, I'm right-clicking on the arrow just to flip it. We get this rather odd section, which is of little use to us. So let's clear that section and have a look at how that might have been better done for us. And we, of course, could have gone plane. In this case, we could have said face. And if we pick the face of this building, we can now move, and we're now perpendicular to the building. But we're getting a section through absolutely everything. And again, right-click and it'll flip it over. So let's delete that section once more and look at some other section methods. Section by element, I find, is much more useful. But we also have section by range and shape. We'll come back to element in a moment because, again, that's most useful. Now, I find when I'm doing range and shape to be in the top view, and I turn perspective off to make it a little easier. So, for instance, if I wanted let's have a look. So if I wanted to do a section by range, you'll notice this only works orthogonal to the coordinate system. So if I was to rotate this around like so, it's still orthogonal to that view, which again is, for me, is not so useful. And that's where the section by shape comes in, because this now allows me to draw a shape here like this, and that will be a rectangle unless I hold the control key down, and now I can do a shape. So I can make a section of any shape I wish, like so. And now if I rotate this view around, you can see at every part of this we have a manipulation arrow which we can drag around and do whatever we want with. I don't know what happens if you right click on them. Nothing, they don't flip. This is the one for going up and down, and there'll be one at the bottom as well. Here it is, just hiding away there. So you can be very manipulative of this and do exactly what you want. Now, very useful it is, but I find it more useful to use the section by element. So for instance, if this roof panel, if I say section this by an element and I pick this roof panel, that's what we get. And now if I want to see more below, I can just do this, a little bit more above please, and I get this. Okay. So for me personally, that's the tool I use most of the time, especially when I'm dealing with buildings. Okay, and it might be you're interested in a very small, thin sliver of this building because you're trying to check various things like this. So let's have a look at that from the back, turn the perspective off and so on. So totally up to you how you choose to make your sections and manipulate them. And of course, once you've made a section, and it's a section you want, make a save view of that and it will remember the section settings. Remembering this turns off and on the handles and this clears the section. So that's how you do sections.